YouTube. Hey everybody, you got Legends of Tabletop here. My name is Vince, and sitting at the table with me, although you cannot see him, is James, who's also in our 5th edition campaign.
Happy holidays!
That's right. And as we did before not so long ago, we're doing a Dungeon Talk, D&D, life, love, and everything roundtable discussion. So thank you for joining us if you are indeed here, and thank you for listening later if that is the case. And
don't we also have a disembodied voice from far away?
we do, yes. You want disembodied voice? Do you want to go ahead and let me know who you are?
Hey everybody, it's John. I am here for this, the second Dungeon Talk for tonight. So guys can't get rid of me.
Nope, you're like horse shit. You're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I would just a bad penny, but
Well, there's that too, yeah. Gabe just texted me, and he let me know that he just got done and he needs to chill out for a bit. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if he'll be joining us like a few minutes before ready to end, or I don't know what that means. So let me text him back.
what does that mean?
Time? Exactly. God damn it, Zenis. Well, he read it, so. Gotta love the iPhone. If you have that feature turned on, you can see when one's read your. You read my chat. And like, oh, I didn't get that. Yeah, you did, you fucker. I saw that you read it. Here's a screenshot. Not that any of us would go ahead and do that because that's kind of petty, but you know, it's there as an option. And he's typing. You can see the little circles there. I know he's typing. He's typing.
Ooh, there's 3 dots.
That's right.
Undulating, in fact.
They are undulating. I need to just veg about an hour. What?
Yeah,
All
I'll
right,
be
Gabe,
almost done by then.
If you're listening to this later, then that's ridiculous. So you go ahead and you chill out. We're going to sit here and eat pierogies. I'm going to drink my wine. James
I got a code red.
James will take care of his code red. John,
By the code.
what are you drinking there, John?
I just have iced tea.
Iced tea? What the fuck? So I'm the only one getting drunk here? All right.
It seems that way.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, that's exactly. I'm not driving, so it doesn't matter. All right, so we can pretty much count him out.
Yeah, we do that anyway.
Oh!
There you go. All right, so, well, since we are talking about anything and everything, let's kick it off. James, how was your Christmas?
Christmas was good.
Get any fun D&D items for your?
I got Volo's Guide.
Oh, how was that?
I would, if I'd have cracked it, I could tell you. And I got the Villains Codex for the Pathfinder system. So
Okay.
and I got a lot of money in Amazon credits, so I'm going to get the rest of my list too. So
Nice.
looking
Okay.
forward to that. And some clothes and stupid toys and, no toys, but
Gotcha.
clothes and cologne, stuff like that.
The usual, yeah, the basics. Some of the stuff that you need throughout the year to carry you through to the next Christmas.
Had my mom, my brother, and my nephew down, and we took them to Seven Fishes at my in-laws.
Oh, okay.
And then they left the next day, and we went to Christmas Day at my other in-laws. And then we went up to see everybody in New York on my side on Monday, and I've been home ever since,
Nice.
enjoying the vacation that I didn't take during the year. So,
Oh, okay. Well deserved, sir. And when do you go back to work?
on January the 3rd.
So next year, basically.
Yes, next year.
Nice.
How about yourself? How was Christmas?
Christmas was okay. It was quiet.
Quite
The way I like it. A lot of very contemplative and very meditative.
Yeah.
And
Presents?
No, not really.
I see.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
It's interesting because I did spend Christmas by myself. I didn't have that post-Christmas blues drop-off that one gets, especially
All right. You didn't have
after
the precipice. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. You had that build-up, that orgy of anticipation,
Okay.
and then Christmas is over, and bam, you wake up the next morning like, what the fuck just happened? I still feel like Christmas is moving on and slowly fading.
Okay.
I like that, so it's not bad.
Well, the stations,
So
they
relaxed.
drop the Christmas music immediately, which I think is a little cutthroat. But
Yeah.
Except the cable station.
They need to hold that out until the 31st at least.
And just point of information, I'm half Jewish. I'm also lighting candles for Hanukkah.
Okay.
No presents as yet. So. In all likelihood, I won't get any presents unless I give myself one. So
Gotcha.
We'll see about that.
Well, that's what the Amazon gift cards are for.
Well, technically that's Christmas runoff, so but we might reclassify. That's true.
Yeah,
Good
you
thought.
could. You
Good
could
thought.
totally.
How about you, John?
It was pretty cool. We did Christmas Eve and Christmas Day over at my parents' house. I had my daughter this year, so hung out, played a lot of games, card games, board games, all kinds of stuff. I got my first Munchkin set my daughter got me for Christmas, so that was cool.
What genre?
It's just the Munchkin Deluxe. It's not a particular theme thing. It's not Cthulhu or Pathfinder or anything like that.
Just the starter set, then.
I guess you could call it a starter set, I suppose. This one comes with the game board and a bunch of other stuff that, it's not just cards.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Not bad. How's do you miss East Coast weather?
Nope.
It being Christmas and you really don't have that? You don't miss Christmas time out here?
Nope. Fuck that cold weather.
Wow. Okay.
Holy shit.
I don't miss that even a little bit.
To be honest with you, it wasn't that cold. It was, 48?
Exactly.
Yeah, up to 50. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You may have experienced more colder weather out there in Arizona than here.
Actually, we got about a week where it was pretty chilly. It was freezing at least overnight and real low temperatures during the day, but it's warmed back up considerably. Well, today it was only about 65.
Oh,
only 65. Holy
poor
shit.
baby.
I know, right? Shit.
I had a sweater on.
A sweater? What kind of sweater?
Christmas sweater?
Yeah,
Ugly
that's
sweater?
what I was going to say, yeah.
No, it's like a little hoodie thing.
Oh, what you had on the other day when we were chatting?
Probably. Yeah, same one.
The one that makes you look like a Jedi.
Yep.
When you lift the hood up. Okay. Jedi John. There we go. Oh, so anything interesting in the world of games, D&D, other than our own campaign that's progressing nicely? That was a good one. Our last.
I thought it was a good session.
It was a very good session. There was a lot of role play, a lot of tension, a lot of ass kicking.
So the first session was kind of stilted because everybody was new to the system and trying to figure out characters, and then the second session, we added Adam, right?
No, Adam did my book cover. This is Aaron, yeah.
Aaron, Jesus Christ. I can never remember his name. I don't know why. But so second session, he came in as a new player, so it kind of kept things, a little cattywampus. And then, finally by this third session, the core group's been together for, 3 games, and then, he's been there for 2 games. So I felt like it started to gel a little bit better.
Correct.
So yeah, the third session was the best one out of the bunch for me.
Mm-hmm. For those of you listening and who are watching, go back and watch that third session. It's really good. A lot of good role play and a lot of good voice acting and characterization, and players sticking to their character as far as their alignment and personality is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. So everyone did very well. As a DM, I was pleased. So our next game will be coming up the end of January. I have some good plans for that. So, but I have to say, this last game, I had a general outline in my head of how I wanted things to run, and Plan B, in case those ideas didn't go as far as the players wanted to go. So, for all intents and purposes, I pantsed that one, and it worked out well.
Mm-hmm. I think that's Neil's motto with most of his games.
Just to pants them. Yeah, I mean, I used to do that back in the 90s when I ran my Undermountain campaign, and we had a blast. And then after a while, you're like, you move away from that, and you don't have those weekly games. Because, to be honest with you, when you devote your time to a weekly game, and you work full-time and you have other pursuits, for myself, I can't sit down a decent amount of time and sit down and do an outline and write and now this and do all that, which I would like to, but I couldn't do that back then. So I would do just general marking down like one bullet points and go from there. And not for anything, the games turned out fairly well. My improv isn't too bad, and it worked nicely. So I've decided to, even though I do have a little bit more time to devote, and I do with some of the backstory and the NPCs, I'm still pantsing the overall adventure plot.
I think that's rare in this day and age because seems to be the age of the adventure path and the mega adventure.
Correct.
It seems to be what's primarily being produced by the big concerns, and it doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room.
No,
but I guess it's easy prep. But I've heard of individuals, especially let's say like 5e tends to have mega adventures that are all purpose at there's one volume.
Correct.
With a lot of stuff.
First through 10th level, yeah.
But my understanding from the people running let's say Pathfinder adventure paths, which are produced in 6 installments, are that there are certain elements that change over time, like by not continuity breaks, but maybe mechanical breaks, which become issues for individuals who are doing them in sequence. So,
gotcha.
Just because they're written one after another as opposed to all at once. So.
Okay.
But still, that seems to be the trend.
Yeah.
Most of your single adventures are from way third-party sources. So.
Yeah, I was going to say that even the DM's Guild, you all hop on there and you can find some decent,
Well, actually published stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't given that much look. If I'm in a system, I like core RAW stuff.
Gotcha.
That's just me. Adventures are fine, but anything that diverges, that is speculative about the rules and the gimmies and stuff like that,
you stay away from.
I'm a little leery of. Yeah.
That makes sense. That takes you far afield, and that's more not for anything. That's more work.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, first edition, all the first edition modules.
Mm-hmm.
Remember those? Bone Hill,
Oh, sure.
Secret of Salt Marsh, and the Oak. Those were they were. At that time, there was maybe 2 or 3 a month being put out.
It was pretty prolific. I mean, at least looking back, maybe in the moment.
Exactly.
I didn't know about the production schedule, but if you count them versus the time allotted, it seems to be like a pretty good output.
Yeah, and like you said, now it's just there are these huge adventure arcs that settle first through 10th and 10th through whatever, like the Curse of Strahd, and then the what's the other one?
My Sunday games is in the Underdark Demon one.
Oh, how do you like that?
I didn't want to join, but but I was cajoled and begged, and it's not bad. It's just why wouldn't you? I'm playing a human who's trapped down there. Why wouldn't I just be beeline for the surface at my first opportunity?
Yeah,
but I'm making it work. So
okay, cool. How about you, John? Anything to add to that?
No, I mean, when I was running, I sandboxed, and with the podcast being what it is, I don't have time to do that anymore. I was more of a planner than a pantser. If I was going to run something now, I would probably go some sort of an adventure path / module just for ease of time and gives you enough that you can kind of sit down an hour beforehand and just kind of review some general things and go through stuff and be more or less prepared for a session. I don't have preference as player for one way or the other. Like James said, you want to kind of stay with a meta story sort of thing. Yeah, I'm easy that way. I just want to play. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I just prefer to play off the rails if possible, but it's just not. It's not the age of designing your own stuff. I mean, it's just everybody's so busy. It's tough.
Well, that's it entirely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why DM's Guild is nice if you want that sort of track.
Yep, for sure.
Oh yeah, but back in '91 when they released Undermountain, Ruins of Undermountain, that was amazing because you had this. You have all these maps. Mm-hmm. There were a few rooms that were laid out and encountered out, and the rest was left up to you. So you had this pre-made, commercially made outline for yourself with a backstory and all these neat NPCs and monsters and whatnot. But you could go ahead and expand, make it your own. And even to this day, I still pick up those books.
And they had subsequent issues also. I know
they did Ruins of Under Mountain 2. Actually, I think there were 3.
In an individual adventure, there was a dwarven ruin.
Yeah.
A couple of little. I mean, they were insular, but kind of capped off in their own little
correct
areas.
Right. Yeah, so they were pretty cool.
Oh, Doc.
We're over here eating the
rather delicious
pierogies, which we haven't cooked in what?
No,
it's been years.
It remains a constant.
Correct.
Albeit very intermittent constant.
Yeah, the scheduling was awful on those, but they're a good gamer food. That's it. I got
so for Christmas Eve, our family tradition is my grandmother used to make homemade pierogies and different soups and stuff. So I've been eating pierogies for like a week now.
It's like turkey.
That's the leftover.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, when you reheat them, how do you go ahead and do that?
I just, throw them on a plate covering wax paper, stick them in a, microwavable dish or something. There's enough butter on them that they're not going to dry out when you reheat them.
That's true. Yeah. These are just, I stopped at Wegmans earlier today. James kind of guilted me into it. Oh, I texted
me. He's sick. You made him leave his house?
There was going to be a half-hour dearth, so I said, hey, it's a pierogi tax. I was joking, but I took it to heart.
That was fair. I think in all fairness, that was good. I figured, hey, you know what? We haven't had them in a while. So I'll go ahead and I picked up a bottle of sangria for myself and the pierogies. And all I do with those is I throw them in a cookie sheet, baste them with butter, throw some seasonings on them, preheat the oven, which that's stupid. I heated the oven to 400, threw them in for about 15 minutes, turned them halfway through the cooking process, and there you go. Nice and crispy on the outside, light and fluffy on the inside. Bam.
Boiler. Boiler and have sour cream on the side.
That's how my mom used to do it, yeah.
But you got to daub them because I hate them. I like the boiling's easy, but I don't like them wet. So.
Exactly. Yes, that's what she said. So as things go. What I used to do, I would boil them for about a minute or two until they floated. Take them out and then fry them up in a pan with butter and saute with the onions and whatnot. So that worked. I don't know how this became a D&D cooking show, but it just segued into that. So there you go.
Now I have a question. Since I've known you, Vince.
Yes.
All we've ever played is Wizards TSR product. Are you branded in terms of your RPG, or it just so happens you have never played another concern?
I used to run other TSR games, Star Frontiers. Okay. I played Shadowrun.
Okay.
TMN.
All right, so that's all right. So that's a different.
Correct. Yeah. I got my start. Actually, I got my start with the Dungeon board game, and that came out. I think I forget his first name, but his last name was Rozloff, and he did the covers for one of the iterations of that board game. I think it's 78 or 79. Okay. And in fact, we sit outside and play on the porch in the summertime with friends and neighbors and friends. And from there, I remember seeing the Red Box Basic commercial.
Wow.
In conjunction with going to the Morristown Mall, to the remember the bookend?
Remember, I'm not a native.
Oh, that's right. There was a small little cul-de-sac bookstore called the Bookend.
Okay.
And where they had the checkout kiosk, on an end cap, they had one of those magazine racks. And in the magazine rack, the top was all Dungeon magazines. At about eye level were adventures, and at the bottom they had the core.
And that's a stability factor for the rock.
Correct, yeah. And to me that was amazing. My parents could leave me there for hours, and I would just go through them all. And they were magic. There's like these magic books that I couldn't comprehend yet, especially Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So I figured in my own limited wisdom, I think, I'll start out with the D&D red box set. My mom took my brother and I over to this catalog department store called Best in Morristown as well, and they carried it for, I think it was at the time maybe $20. Picked that up and spent that winter learning those rules, and that subsequent spring and summer, almost every day when we had time off in the summer, playing Dungeons and Dragons, so D&D, and
What a
absolutely
nerd.
loved it. I know, right? What the fuck? It started early, and that's usually how it works. You fucking nerd. And then that remained consistent. I mean, when Undermountain came out, I was like a pig in shit. I was happy with that. That was amazing. I love dungeon crawls. To me, that's the essence of Dungeons and Dragons. That'll never leave me, and I love it. And I'll probably come back to redo an Undermountain campaign with you guys. And maybe not as long as 5 years when I did. It was like from 91 to about 96, 97.
I can see the sky too.
Exactly. And then there was a drop off where my gaming was very intermittent. It was hit or miss. And then I came back seriously with it when John and I started playing back with the release of 4th edition, and picked it back up. And then now we've started with Legend of Tabletop, and we're doing the 5e campaign, and it's amazing. So it's been a good run. D&D has been very good to me. Yeah. Yep.
Christmas memories. I remember didn't get much D&D stuff for Christmas when I was growing up, but I got Gamworld White Box. I got Legion of Gold. Opening, it was one of the first module.
Oh shit!
Opening that was like I was young, so it wasn't orgasmic, but I was just like
it was comparable.
I was wide-eyed. I was like, I would have been one of those leaping idiot kids in the commercials. I was calmer than that.
Yeah. Inside, you were just like raging. Yeah.
It was a fantastic Christmas gift.
Nice. Yeah. That was like when I got the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in my modules, and a couple Grenadier lead figure sets and some paints. Oh, it was fantastic. Those were good times.
My brother turned up. I've got a box of combined Grenadier leads, which were unprimed, so they're just flaking away, sitting in my mother's house. Collection of D&D and Call of Cthulhu minis.
Oh, no shit.
I got to give them credit. There's incredible detail.
Oh,
they don't. I mean, I don't know what the paint scheme would have been, but they just look fantastic. Even now, those that haven't reflected
unpainted, exactly.
And Raoul Partha stuff.
Yeah, Raoul Partha was pretty amazing. They had some really good sculptors.
And for a while, I remember going to the Complete Strategist in Manhattan, 33rd Street flagship, and they would have Raoul Partha would do 3 stages of a character.
Like I remember that. Yes,
they would do, infancy, medium level, and then high level, just more ornate, more gear.
Exactly,
it's fantastic looking stuff.
Oh, completely. No, that Complete Strategist store in Manhattan, it's still exists.
It's still there. It's the only one left in the city. So.
We're gonna have to.
At one time, they were. Well, we're closer to the King of Prussia. We're gonna make.
Oh, there you go. We'll do a little pilgrimage. Yeah.
I was in Manhattan around the weekend of the 10th this year. Was going to do Christmas stuff, but it was just too cold. We walked out shopping one day, and that just burned it right out of us. We were not.
Again, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Empire State Building done it. Tree done it.
You took the John route. Fuck that. Yeah.
I mean, we had some errands to run people to see, but we didn't venture out.
Gotcha. I don't blame you. There's something about the city when it's cold. It is even more. The wind, they're like a wind tunnel.
Whips through the canyons of stone. So.
That's right. Well said.
It was a good visit otherwise, but I didn't get to the Strat, unfortunately. But as my wife described it, she's dead on and dismissive. It's like, that narrow store? Because what she remembers, they have mother's chairs up at the front. And she was sitting in the mother's chairs while I'm scouring down the aisles.
Yep, like a little kid.
Asses to elbows with the other kids.
Yep.
Kids, and I'm the oldest kid wandering around there except for the staff.
There you go.
But it's always fun. It's nice to go.
How's the one in King of Prussia?
King of Prussia is not bad. It's not narrow. It's like a normal store that you'd see. Just a lot more. They have a lot more allocated to RPG stuff. So I think it's probably got the best selection in the vicinity.
We'll have to make a pilgrimage. Get the group together. We'll FaceTime you in, John. Maybe we'll do a Periscope.
There you go.
That'd be kind of cool, actually. Nerds out there, we don't care if you're not listening or watching.
But you got to know your way around if you're going to get to free RPG day and pick up swags.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I had to go down by the shore to what's the name of it? I forget the name of it. But All Things Fun closed in Berlin. Yeah. So the nearest one was down on the way to the Jersey Shore. I forget the name of it. It was a nice store. They were very nice. And it was more than one pick, which was cool. So take whatever many you want. There weren't that many people there. I was like, wow. So I felt compelled to buy something, which I shouldn't. But so my free stuff cost me about $60. You know,
no, that's not bad. That's a good haul. I mean, especially considering you're buying something and getting free stuff. That's pretty decent.
Exactly. So,
kind of,
but that's the way. It's like going into BJ's with one thing in mind and walking
exactly.
Or Target, you know.
Yeah.
For tissue paper and coming out with
the whole bucket full. Exactly. Yeah. Same. It's like going into going food shopping hungry.
Well, that's just
that's never good. Yeah, it's never a good idea. Over there, John. What's going on? You're wearing pants, I hope.
I am wearing. I've had my pajamas on since I walked in the door from work.
Wow. What time did you walk in from work? And are your pajamas D&D related?
They are not. I just have a pair of like plaid flannel pajamas on. I got home at actually I left work early today, so I was home by like 2.
Oh wow, nice.
Yep.
Here's an idea. For Legends of Tabletop, we have to get on this, and you just by us talking about this now and what you're wearing, Legends of Tabletop pajamas.
There you go. Well, if Cafe Press wouldn't be a bunch of cocksuckers, then maybe we'd have some swag already that we could have up for sale. But
yes, Cafe Press, they are being dickheads at the moment, so we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do. But that'd be great to have some kind of like a gamer lounge pant.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the dice. You can put your dice in the pocket. Everything.
Sounds like
it. I think it would work. I think it would totally work. Legends of Tabletop lounge pants. We need to do this. We need to do it.
Speaking of accoutrement, you don't use them. Where do you stand on dice towers? I say no.
It takes away the tactile because you're. Was that a laugh or a sneeze, John?
No, it's a laugh. You guys go.
Bless you. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the whole. I never really cared. I mean, aesthetically, they're cool. I wouldn't mind having one at the table just to have one because that's neat. But I don't know. I never really. Yeah, I like rolling the dice. You know, feeling the roll.
I'll pick one off the floor every so often just to get the feel of it.
Exactly. Yeah, that gives it character. It gives it that builds up that aura around the die that's particular to your roll, your hand, as it were. The dice tower, I think, detracts from that. And now, John laughed. You want to explain what's going on with your take on dice towers?
No, so I mean, I don't normally use one, but I picked up one in a collection that I bought off of Craigslist, and we started using it for BattleTech. And it serves its function. It's mine. The one I have is pretty basic. Nothing real fancy. It's it's not like a Dogmite where you go in and spend a couple of bucks and get like a beautiful piece of art that's also a functional dice tower. But I picked up or I received. We did a review way back for Easy Roller Dice Company. Shout out to those guys. And I sent a bunch of dice and things. And I was looking at the website. They had dice cups and dice trays. And dice trays I get. Dice cups. I'm like, who the hell buys a dice cup? Like, what the hell's the purpose of that? So the meetup we play. We meet at the library. So we brought Martian dice one day to play. And one of the guys was just like shaking the shit out of the dice in that little cardboard and plastic container. And I'm like, oh, I understand why someone would want a dice cup now. So I picked up a dice cup and a dice tray. And the EasyRollerDice.com, their dice tray is fantastic. I bring it to every meetup, any sort of game that has dice or just strictly like a dice game like Chupacabra or Zombie Dice, we use that exclusively, and I prefer it. So like when we play BattleTech now, my brother uses the dice tower and I use the dice tray.
Oh, okay.
So
It's probably a good conversation piece too.
The Easy Roller Dice Company's dice tray.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one I have is red. They also have a blue one now, which I wish they would have had at the time because the blue is like a really vibrant, striking blue color. I'm like, man.
Nice.
Dice Cup I flash on Octopussy and James Bond playing backgammon against come on. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
It's all in the red.
Yeah, specifically, I got it for use over at the library because the dice can make a lot of noise, and then you're throwing them on those hard plastic folding tables. So the combination of the cup and the tray are really good. Depending on how big your table is, like I use them like when we play our online games. I put the dice tray on my lap, stick it on the shelf here, and then when I need to roll, I'll bring it down because I don't have enough room on the desk with all the shit that I have. So it works for me. It's pretty convenient.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. If the less space you have, you can use a dice tray on your lap. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Where do you guys stand on rolling damage, the attack concurrently? I think it's hubris.
It saves time. I'm of two minds. Like I could see like in a 4E game where your combat's going to take a minimum of like 3 hours.
True.
That if you roll them together, it's going to save a little bit of time. I don't see it so much as hubris as like, hey, let me do as much as I can to facilitate my turn. Me personally, I prefer to roll them separate.
Okay.
I was going to say I concur with that just because it builds attention. And like, I hit. All right, now what damage do I do? Whereas if you don't hit and you roll high damage, like fuck,
right?
I wasted it.
Exactly. It kind of shot your load. So
I can see having everything set up, Gabe. So like if you're going to need 3 D10s or 4 D6s or whatever, you have your D20. Obviously, you've got a whole row of D20s because the dice hate you.
Yeah, this one goes out to Gabe.
Oh,
yeah. But no, so just have everything ready. So you're not rolling it concurrently. So maybe it takes you another 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But you could just have everything all set up and ready to go, and then make the roll. And if everybody's
exactly.
If everybody's in, you can move to the next person while you're tabulating damage results. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to necessarily wait for that player to finish.
That's true.
Well, some games now they have the fixed damage. 13th Age is like that, pretty much. They just establish the mean, and that's the damage. It's a little, so it gets to be a little repetitive, but it's real quick for the DM side anyway.
It kind of takes away some of the tension though, like Vince said. Like if you're just going to swing a sword and do 5 points or 4 points, it's almost like, well, why are we bothering? Like the tactileness of rolling the dice is such a big part of the fun.
Well, that's exactly that harkens back to when I first started playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was like, oh, holy shit! The dice come into these kind of shapes. That was amazing to me. And then learning those rules and using that, and that really, as we're saying, the tactile experience of rolling a die. That's part of the magic, and that's why I probably could not do a straight storytelling role play campaign. Like I describe something and you say what you're going to do, and then I say, oh, that works, blah, 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 and then you move on. I need some kind of mechanic with dice. Yeah. How about yourself? Same way?
Yeah, essentially. I just think some descriptor games are tough because, adjudication becomes less. Too much theater of the mind is too much theater of the mind.
Yeah.
I like a little, rolling. And,
exactly. Yeah.
And everything's, everybody knows the target, and there's no,
correct.
There's no.
Well said.
Well, what do you think about like dice rolling apps then? To kind of like just take this question to the next step.
I think they're great when you're doing something online and you're not all at a table. Obviously, I've I played online Call of Cthulhu games where we didn't use the app and we rolled. There was a little bit of honesty you had to do with it, the roll. But I don't know. To me, that added time and took it away a little bit because you weren't all around the table. There's a whole I don't know the word for it, but pageantry that surrounds rolling the dice at a table filled with people. Whereas if you're just sitting at your desk, there may be 10 other people online playing, but you're rolling to shadows as far as I'm concerned. Whereas if you have the app, well, then everyone can see it. It's easy. That's nice. But again, it takes away from that tactile experience. So the app is good for convenience and for doing something where everyone can see what's going on, both the players and the watchers, as it were. Yeah, that's fine. But if you're sitting around a table, obviously you don't need an app. But
my only experience with it wasn't really with rolling the game itself. There was a little while before, I think, Point Buy hit 3rd edition, when there were a lot of apps to roll characters. 3 dice, 6 drop 4. Like there would be algorithms to roll sets of 6 stats.
Oh, okay.
And they would be locked in, so you would essentially be sending your results to the DM. Like they would ask for your rolls that way, just to show, just to be accurate and truthful.
Gotcha.
But you could roll some heinous characters that way.
Interesting character, I'm sure.
But that's I've never rolled electronically except character generation like that, and that was years ago.
Gotcha.
Again, before. Now I think it's just Point Buys. The Point Buy that started in Hero System games, which were percentile games, has really hit D20 a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bad thing. The at level change, nail biting of rolling hit points, I hated it. I always did.
Oh yeah.
And I just rather have fixed hit points and know where I'm standing.
Yeah,
and let the damage rolls be random, but I like to know what my character's hit points are going to be, and I can use the Point Buy stats to generate accordingly and know where he's going to be. And
you
what
chose
I
that
want
actually the past game when we leveled up.
Exactly.
You went ahead and took the average of the.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I prefer that. So.
Okay.
And I think that's why it's inherent in the system. They have that as a codicil, and every hit die has the average, as though,
That makes sense rather than rely on the randomness of I get a 1, you're stuck with a 1. Yeah.
Exactly. That's me, though.
Gotcha. How about you, John? You anything with apps? Dice
no, for dice, I don't like it at all. Like James was saying, which I guess is sort of a different topic as far as like Point Buy for character creation. I kind of prefer that. We used to do that on Nerdbound, for all those types of games. Everything was Point Buy. So the characters tend to be maybe a little bit more average in that regard, especially with something like Rogue Trader, because you're not going to get those really high rolls. But I like that better, because if you roll up a character and they've got 6 points, you can take that as a really challenging roleplay aspect, or this character is just useless, or you just like most people, I'm just going to put it in charisma because I'm not going to use that stat, so my dude's just really ugly or whatever.
Charisma always got the shitty end of the stick.
Yeah. So I mean that's a cool thing. Like I think the sorcerers were charisma in 4th. I don't recall, but
yes.
Yeah. So I mean it was cool that they use that set. I mean obviously Bard, but yeah, I like Point Buy. It takes I enjoy the randomness, but for creation of a character, I like that more stability, because then I can put the points where I want them. You can spend whatever you want. So if I want to hamstring somebody, I can. If I want them to be super average, I can do that. If you want to, make 1 or 2 stats a lot better than the others, you have a lot more options.
Well, in this campaign, I have to say, Norvald rolled fantastic. So I'm very, very happy with him. So I wouldn't switch him out for the world, although I want to average his hit points. That's all.
Yeah, you guys. I think all the characters have decent.
That's not true.
You don't think so?
Our absent friend had a really bad set of rolls.
Gabe? Yeah. Because we have another absent friend too. We have another.
Well, but he's got a better character.
We do. We
rolled up.
Yeah, we have. we have Spritel Chudforth. He's the gnome sewer municipal worker of Waterdeep, and at the moment the resident leader as far as job hiring.
We have the Sea Mage.
Yeah, and then we have the Sea Mage, who's.
Do we though?
I'm gonna have to. That's good. I'm gonna have to throw in some kind of like sea game. Like you guys are gonna be all over the continent, so there'll be a few boat experiences. So they hopefully he shine. Like now, if he fucks up out on the sea, I'm gonna have to rethink his character.
Well, when you have a wizard that doesn't have Arcana, I think you've probably already kind of screwed the pooch.
Well, he's got Gust of Wind. So that was...
No, he means
okay.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, he's got Gust of Wind to put out the fire that you need to see by. Because no one else can see in the dark. That was the second session, so you fuckers go back and watch that. That wasn't too bad. That was good. I want to get, like I said, a few more dungeon tiles.
I've got an oldie but a goodie. First edition, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, weapon versus armor class. Did you use it or not? I can proudly say we did not.
I thought there were those tables and everything were interesting, but I didn't want to slow the game down. It was like, I memorized it.
That was a break. That was a break.
That for me, that was the I can't do that. That's just it's an interesting concept and adds some realism, but
That made the weapon selection more important.
Correct.
Which now it is not necessarily.
Correct. Yes.
So, I mean, at least in 5e, at least in Pathfinder, they still have crit modifiers. So you have your X3s by your X2s, 1920s. But yeah, that's not. It's all dice. So it's all the accumulation of dice now.
Gotcha.
Which isn't bad.
Yeah, never. I actually miss. Remember Thaco? To hit armor class 0 for all you youngins out there. They're looking up that chart. I enjoyed that. Hit dice of the monster and you figure out the Thaco based on your level. Now, John, when did you come in? We may have mentioned this briefly, but now we may have talked about this in other podcasts, but not on our Dungeon Roundtable. When did you start playing Dungeons and Dragons? What was your origin story?
In high school, I played one 45-minute session with one guy who was both DM and character before his mom called him for dinner. So we'll call that not adding to the story. But when I worked at a restaurant, one of the guys that had worked there previously had come back. He was in the Marines. And we, struck up a friendship. And he's like, "Oh, you've never played?" I'm like, "Nope, never played." He's like, "Oh, you got to play. We play all the time." So I played some second ed about 91 to say maybe 92. And then that group broke up and, people. And then when I met you, we started playing probably not super long after that. I want to say it was maybe 94, 95, 95, 96.
Yeah, we started playing, around 90, 95. Yep.
It feels like I've known you forever now, so it's hard for me to place dates.
I know, right? It's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. So we played, and again, probably not for a super long time, maybe a couple of months, a year, and then that sort of petered out. And then, like you mentioned earlier, when 4th edition came out, you were like, "Oh, we should totally give it a try." And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, well, sure, we'll give it a try." Yeah, well, and it's been ever since, right? So I've been gaming continuously since 2008 now.
I would say you owe me big time, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, and not only for a return to RPG gaming, but at that time, so 2009, then they released the Penny Arcade podcasts, and I had never even heard of a podcast. You're like, I would just take music to work and listen to CDs all day, and then you're like, "Oh, you got to listen to this thing; it's really funny." And I'm like,
I remember sending you the
link about. Yeah. So that introduced me to a whole other world. So after that, I was listening to
So it's all my fault.
20 podcasts or something like that at one time because I just go to work and just listen for 8 hours a day.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool.
I think you touched on something too. I hadn't thought of it until our local game store, that All Things Fun, opened a second location down at the base and then closed our location. And you touched on it. A fellow from the military tried to bring you back in. I think there's a lot more gaming than we realize in the military.
There is. There. In fact, there's been I think the gentleman over at Kinzer and Company that run Unites at the Dinner Table.
Okay.
I think they have a program, a charity where they garner and gather games.
Okay.
And send them over. Personnel over in the Middle East. Because it's a big thing.
Because I think bandwidth is at a premium, so maybe, tabletop stuff's the way to go with it. It's great. So.
Yeah, the camaraderie. I mean, the camaraderie of just being in the military itself, but then around the game table, it's got to be really, comforting. So, yeah.
Well, and the thing that sucks with Amazing Discoveries is you can't get to that one on the base now, right? I mean, after like 9/11, everything, at least it used to be all blocked up around the base, like the roads were closed and everything.
It's difficult, yeah. I mean, even getting on to Lakewood is it's like a song and a dance.
Yeah, I don't understand why they did that. I mean, they've just completely eliminated their whole base there.
Yeah. Well, that and they had the whole Fort Dix trial, Fort Dix 6, the terrorist thing going on there back in 2006, 2007. So they've really locked that stuff down. So having a gaming store that should be open to the public when gaming on a base now is just probably not the best business.
Yeah.
It's not,
Well, they're just driving more people over to, like, say, Family Fun Hobbies or something like that. I mean, there's still some stores in the area over there, but for people coming from further south, going up to Family Fun is a hell of a drive.
It is. I remember in the 80s and 90s there was remember Allied Hobbies. You remember the name?
Mm-hmm.
I do not.
Okay.
I don't think it was up in New York.
Okay, it was a chain.
Okay.
And they models and trains and things like that. But they had a decent role playing section and paints, Ralph Partha and paints. You remember that, right, John? Up in the Burlington Mall.
Yeah, we used to wander in and out of there every weekend.
Yep, I'd make a pilgrimage to the mall.
So Walden Books did a pretty good job.
Yes,
they always had a good section in the 80s and 90s until they got pulled out. By Amazon and Barnes & Noble's online stuff. Right. Barnes & Noble has
to do the same thing.
Yeah, Walden Books, B. Dalton.
Yeah,
B. Dalton, and like I said, there was a bookend. There was more. There was a little mom and pop kind of thing.
I think I was in a Wizard store once out in California, which was interesting.
We had one of the Morristown Mall over here. Yeah, that was predominantly.
That didn't stay open for very long, though.
No, that was open for about 4 or 5 years. That was predominantly board games, superhero paraphernalia, comic book paraphernalia, and they had a section in the back where you could sign up and pay a fee to play online games, which was that's annoying. But for it being a Wizard store, it was woefully short on Dungeons and Dragons paraphernalia and whatnot. Like it was almost like a comic book store with some video games in the back and more board games. So I mean that's the 80s. I remember walking up, riding my bike to the Cherry Hill Mall, and go book shopping. And back at the time, there was fantasy and science fiction had 1 or 2 bays. That's it. That's all you had. So your selection was very limited. Now you can't. You can't keep up. It's unbelievable. It's
a genre now.
It is, which is good.
And a lot of board games and card games have become mainstream. Like they have a strategy section, tactical game section, which has your Catan and all your
Carcassonne and oh yeah. it's definitely commercialized to the point of mainstream focus. I almost kind of like back in the day when it was just like this group of nerds. Not that it wasn't commercial as it was, but there was a small community. Now I feel lost in a sea of games. Which is why I keep coming back to Dungeons and Dragons and staying there and maintaining my planting my flag when the dungeon crawls. So I guess I just don't care enough to play other systems anymore.
Time being limited, it's not necessary.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, it's a big investment too for a whole group. If no one has played, say Shadowrun or something, to bring a whole group and be like, okay, hey, let's stop what we're doing and everybody take 3 months to learn this whole new system.
Yeah.
We our Sunday game, the DM was into this Broken Rooms. It was a multi-dimensional game, how Earth skewed into parallel worlds on a particular date in a year. So there's 12 different facets of kind of like DC posits to world this, world that, and they each have an event that skewed it off, like an alien invasion or some sort of apocalypse. But the game ran on D12s, and so I thought we were going to run it for a long time, so I invested in D12, and now I've got a friggin' big pill cup full of D12s. I don't even will them as a weapon, and I spell die. It's how am I going to do with those?
You need a battle axe to Warhammer.
I've got a lot of D12s. Just put it that way.
That's pretty funny.
At least I didn't buy the book. I mean, dice I can live with.
Yeah.
Because we flipped away from it almost immediately. Because I found it was a real depressing premise. It's like, the only fun thing to do was to go to one of the Earth altars and fight your way around and see how their words suck compared to ours. It's like, that's depressing. I just want to go home.
I'm done. Yeah.
All the other worlds suck. So,
that's pretty fun.
It was fun. I think it's kind of like the Strange, the Monty Cook game. It's just kind of similar premise.
Yeah.
It was like that, but I think it came out way much earlier. So.
Gotcha.
So what else?
Well, yeah. How you feeling? You right?
So
up, right?
Okay.
I taped Batman: The Killing Joke was on HBO or something the other day, so I taped it because there was a big buzz about it when it was coming out.
Wait. I think 1980s calling, and once their vernacular back, you taped.
I DVR'd.
There you go.
Whatever. I'm old. What do you want? So I settled in to watch it the other day. It was not fantastic, and I never read the graphic novel, so I can't compare the two. And I know there's some differences in the way that the story was portrayed and whatever. My feeling as a huge fan of the original Batman animated series was that it did a disservice to that series to use that iconography to do that story. I didn't like it.
No? How's it doing with the public?
I don't know. I think it was like a straight to DVD kind of thing. I know there was big buzz when they announced that, they had Mark Hamill and, Kevin Conroy and everybody to come in and do it. The way that they drew the Joker was not like the original Batman animated series. Batman was pretty close, but a little different. Like, it was similar, but not stylistically the same. And of course the story is super dark. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't care for it myself. Have you guys seen it or no?
No. I've heard of it, but I have not. So basically what you're saying is don't watch it.
I saw it on the schedule today, but I didn't think about much of it. And the Phantasm, I think that's another one. Mask of the Phantasm was another one.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll skip it then based on your recommendation.
But I saw Dawn of Justice also on HBO. I didn't see it in the theater. DC isn't doing it for me. That's just me.
No.
Suicide Squad was deeply flawed. I don't know.
It was all right. Visually, it was pretty
Yes.
exciting. Yeah, it was a good,
It was no Deadpool. It was no Doctor Strange.
No, Doctor Strange was phenomenal.
I loved Deadpool too.
Yeah, Deadpool was ridiculously funny.
So should we tell the Doctor Strange story?
What? You have a story?
You do?
So I'm walking around Walmart a couple of weeks ago, and Vince texts me and says, "Hey, I'm going to go see Doctor Strange."
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, it's okay, blah blah blah, whatever. And he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen it." And I'm like, "Well, the movie's 30, 40 years old. What do you mean you've never seen it?" And he's like, "No, not Doctor Strange in the Box. No, the Doctor Strange, a Marvel movie." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Not Doctor Strangelove.
I don't know why my mind went there first.
Because I'm sitting in the movie theater and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That was great.
I don't know why my mind went to that and kind of locked in on it and wouldn't let go like a pit bull. But I just, for whatever reason, assumed that, because they brought Blazing Saddles back.
Yeah.
And there was a couple other things that were in the theater. So I don't know.
That was pretty fun. I got a good chuckle about that. It was silent on text for a moment. You're like, I'm an idiot.
Well, there's that.
Well, no, you're not really. But in that moment, you just had a brain fart.
There's even those rings they needed. Yeah.
That annoyed me.
Yeah, I was annoyed too.
I wasn't happy with that. I was happy with I was very happy with the time shifting, the Infinity Stone.
Yeah. Agamotto was well done.
Yeah, and his cape was amazing with the sentient. Yeah.
But it didn't. Yeah, the rings. I didn't see.
No, that was a really weird plot contrivance. I don't know.
And I like Tilda Swinton. I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
if you're gonna fuck around, if Wong is a sorcerer, then Tilda Swinton can be Caucasian.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Mortal can be black. I mean, it's go crazy.
Yeah. The acting was very well done.
And Stan Lee's 94. So what do you
He did. Today's his birthday, isn't it? Happy birthday, Stan Lee, you old bastard.
Stan.
You old bastard. Don't die on us. There's a lot of deaths going on. Don't do it.
Make it to 2017. Come on,
Jesus Christ.
The Betty White posters. I just wanted to get by.
Yes. Oh, shit. How'd you like Rogue One?
I haven't seen it yet, so
we haven't.
I can't let you know.
I would say you will enjoy it greatly.
That's what I've been told, and I was
That's
not a
say.
Force Awakens fan, so I'm hoping for the best.
For myself, I saw Empire Strikes Back in the movie theater. Over in Morristown. Yeah,
When I was a kid.
Yep.
Oh.
Morristown Mall, the Twin Eric Theater. I was how old?
What a twist!
Yeah, I know, right? And for myself, my enjoyment level, it's up there with my enjoyment level of Empire. I thought it was very well. A lot of nods to all three of the original.
See, there was no greater moment for me in terms of the technology and just admiring the technology. I was a senior, I think, in high school when Return of the Jedi came out, and we hookied and we went to the theater, and I think it was like knee deep in popcorn. They were running. We were online. They were running movies all day. They didn't clean shit. You dusted off your seat and you kicked the popcorn out of the way. And you sat down. But that scene when they first warped into Endor, and then they saw the Star Destroyers, when those TIE fighters came at them in a friggin' circular pattern, I was just like, I've lived long enough. I've lived long enough to see this friggin' shot.
Yeah.
What a shot.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh!
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah. That was a great scene.
You will you're going to find many scenes like that in Rogue One. Right. You're going to enjoy it. Yeah, I was very.
I want to enjoy one because I'm a little down. So
yeah, I was very
about the franchise herders. So
I was a little leery.
Okay,
but like that, I just got Dan bought a ticket for everybody for Christmas, so we went. And after work, had some dinner, went over to see Rogue One. Like, wow, this is I like this. Yeah,
I want to like it.
You will.
I want to believe that.
Yeah.
I didn't like the last Star Trek. I think that they're franchise herders, and that one is a problem. I'm not going to see the one on TV.
Yeah.
I'm just not happy. I'm not a happy camper.
Yeah.
And I didn't like Force Awakens. I don't know where they're going with that.
I didn't like that either. That was
I don't know.
That was horrible.
If they want to do intermediate stories and they're better than their new arc, I'll laugh my ass off.
No, don't be too sure.
What do you mean?
I saw it with my dad Friday and I didn't like it.
Yeah, John's response was on text was meh. Meh.
My dad loved it. He really enjoyed it, but it left me flat.
Okay.
You're a dirty bastard.
No, I'm on the precipice right now. It's got to pull me back.
I think it will.
I'm not an even keel on it, so
I think it will.
We'll see.
Just seeing a CGI fucking Grand Moff Tarkin.
But somebody told me. I read that he looked a little too Polar Express. Was it a good look or not?
It was a good look. I mean, when I had to sit back and go, all right, that's not real. But they did a for something to look like someone who's fucking dead.
Yeah.
And go, that's somewhat believable. I like that. And I wish I could see CGI myself now and have it go to work for me. Come on, we're not at that point
yet. Because they had a guy who looked like him at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
On the deck with the Emperor and Darth Vader. I love Peter Cushing. I hope.
Oh yeah.
I hope it doesn't snap me out. Some of these things snap me out.
Gotcha. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Like when I saw the Hobbit when I saw the first Hobbit when they did that high resolution shit.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
The Hobbit or the Fellowship?
No, the Hobbit.
Oh,
remember the first Hobbit?
Oh yeah.
They did. I just looked at Bilbo's nose.
Yeah.
And I was like, ew.
Like, what are you doing?
It's like Polar Express. They fixed everything and then they ruined it. It's like they fixed it and then they just fucked it up. I was like, ew.
Gotcha.
I saw Polar Express, snatched the Polar Express again. I hate it. It's an idiot.
I've never seen it.
It's terrible.
All right.
And the graphics are creepy. And it's all the whole thing.
Polar Express. There you go.
Give me
kids.
Elf and A Christmas Story.
Merry Christmas. Polar
Express
Express is creepy, children.
Polar Express is creepy, and I find A Wonderful Life schmaltzy, but that's me.
No, I enjoyed Wonderful Life and the Christmas Carol and all of this.
I like Scrooge, Alistair Sim.
Alistair Sim.
That's my jam.
There was also shit. What the hell's his name?
Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. That was actually okay. I watched on Christmas Eve. I watched the one with George C. Scott.
Okay,
that's my favorite.
Okay,
yeah, he's a phenomenal actor. Patton, it's just amazing.
The Hustler.
Yeah.
Dr. Strangelove.
Dr. Strangelove. Yeah. Dr. Strangelove, you son of a bitch. That was fun. You know what? I think you need to regale the world with the percolator story.
Uh-oh.
I can't do the percolator story justice.
You got to do the percolator story. Come on. Because you were there. So, I mean, I can only tell a third-party anecdotal. I mean.
Yeah. Well, so as we became, so maybe we should tell this story. I met you because my ex-wife's best friend started dating you. You guys broke up, and we stayed friends. And then I got divorced, and we're still friends.
we got the best deal. Yeah,
yeah. So
worked out nicely.
Yeah, right. So as it turns out, we have all these things in common: D&D and camping and all these different things. So I sort of worked my way into your friend group very in an ancillary fashion. Not that I was ever really close with any of those guys, but we used to go camping.
A lot of those guys were fuckers anyway, but
Yeah, well. So your brother, who's a story unto himself. So you had gone up, I think on Friday, you and Ralph and a couple of guys went early.
Yeah.
You're going to get a campsite, get everything all set up.
We had gone up
and Rich.
We had gone up on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. So I'd taken off on Friday. So I was going to meet Rich and then your brother. We were all going to meet at your mom's house, and we were going to take off from there. We're all going to go in Rich's car. So we were supposed to meet at whatever, like X time, 8 o'clock. So I get there at like 15:15. Rich gets there, like 10 of. We're waiting.
was like
we're
an
waiting.
hour, wasn't it?
I don't remember how long it was because it's been so long now. So you call it a half an hour at least. We're calling you. Where's Chris? I don't have his number. I don't remember if Rich had his number. And, trying to call him or text him or whatever. So he shows up, whatever, half hour late. And we're like, his girlfriend, fiance at the time, she drops him off. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, well, we had to go out for breakfast and I'm not going to see her for a couple days, blah, blah, blah. He's like, to Rich, and I'm aggravated. I don't say anything because it's your brother. I don't know. It's not like we were friends for years and years. So he's like, throw your shit in the fucking car. He's like, oh, don't talk to me like that. He's like, do you have the coffee pot? No, I don't. I got to go in. I get it. He's like, get the fucking percolator. So 8:30 in the morning, he's screaming at your brother in the middle of the street, just get the fucking percolator. He's like, don't talk to me like that. She's don't ask, get the fucking percolator. We're going to fucking go, blah, blah. It's a 2-hour drive. So this one, it went on for it had to be 5 or 10 minutes of Rich just screaming at your brother to get the percolator.
Looking great.
So he pouted all the way up in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
You told me that. I was just, I still chuckle to this day. Go inside and get the goddamn fucking percolator.
Yeah. It was something to behold.
Oh, my God. That percolator is still in the house here.
Is it really?
It's buried in the closet. I'm looking at the closet right now. Yeah, closet.
Yeah, it's a good many camping trips.
Yeah, that was camp. We dubbed Camp Greywater. That was at Stokes Forest. It was interesting. The first day it rained, like a son of a bitch. Everything was soaked. When you came down, it was okay, and it was thereafter we had good weather. But that was a good trip.
I think that first night we came up, we all huddled in the bathroom. They had it's like the park, so they have the heated bathroom. We're all huddled in there in the heat because it was cold and wet.
Yep. Oh my God, yeah. It's before we had the fire going in the evening.
Yeah, that kind of sucked a little bit.
that dampened the spirit.
Yeah.
Those were fun times. Yeah, we did and then we did a fall camping trip. And we always say, and I would always we'll play D&D, and I would bring them. It would be too cold.
There's no table.
We had a table. We would bring
Your sheets would blow away.
John was in the Scouts. I was in the Scouts. Mark, who was at the time our friend, he went with us. He was in the Scouts as well. So we sort of had that Scout mindset, be prepared, and what we did in Scouts with the table, the patrol box, the canopy, the tent where you have your eating area, that poured it over to our personal lives later. So that's how we set up our baseline camp as a Scout camp. So we had the table, we had the heaters and the tents, we had the lanterns, we had the patrol box with all the cookware and our food, our cooler. So it was a very sophisticated. In fact, I remember back in the 90s, park rangers would always pull up in their vehicles, maybe a couple hundred yards away, and turn off their light, and then walk up and try to catch you drinking because you're kids. And we weren't doing that. And I remember one guy just kind of tilting his hat back on his head, scratching his head. He's like, you guys got a pretty sophisticated setup here. I'm like, well, we were Scouts. He was trying to catch us. We weren't. That wasn't our thing. It wasn't enjoyable.
No, we always brought rum or wine because we do hot apple cider with rum, or we'd bring up wine for dinner.
Always bring white wine and have it with the chicken we would cook in the fire later on. But when we were younger, underage, we didn't fool around with that. Yeah. But we never played D&D. The shit would blow away, and we just never. It was too cold, or you're away from the fire. It seemed like too much effort. Yeah, we good ambiance.
Well, we brought cards. I usually just bring the chessboard.
Oh yeah, I remember playing chess. Yeah.
Yeah, we bring books. Ralph would just bring a backpack full of books and just sit in his tent the whole weekend.
I remember that he was reading Dune novels. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Oh, shit balls. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're old and tired.
Yeah.
Now we're doing this. Now I'm drinking sangria around a podcast.
I've slept out on the ground, out in the woods since went to summer camp. We did overnight trips, away from the cabin and whatnot.
Yeah,
I hate.
See, I like
a bed.
I still like that stuff.
I like a bed.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I mean, if you're given the choice, but there's something to be said about roughing it here and there.
Here and there.
Here and there, every once every decade.
I did my here's and
yeah.
Maybe I'll do my there's another 10, 20 years. Theirs is yet to come.
The only camping you're doing is your character in D&D. Yeah.
Club Med without AC.
Exactly.
A couple of those, and that's tough. That's
true.
Roughing it.
That is, yeah.
So,
out there without your.
I was doing.
Go inside and get the goddamn fucking percolator. Oh my god.
You needed coffee.
We did. We needed coffee. We had this. Shit.
Gotta have coffee.
Oh yeah, camping and coffee goes hand in hand. That and a large bucket barrel of cheese balls.
Yeah.
That was always fun.
We had to hanger stuff. I remember that because it was red.
The bears.
It was way up in the Adirondacks in New York.
Yep.
Red squirrels and raccoons. A lot of beavers. There are a lot of beaver dams.
Really?
You'd be walking along a trail, and sometimes, like, all of a sudden you notice that there was a bunch of logs, and there's fucking water right up here.
Oh shit!
Literally, your trail with fully grown trees
is
an ancient beaver dam.
Oh wow!
Set back the water.
Oh wow!
And you're walking right past the dam.
Hoping that's not going to explode outwards and drown.
But obviously didn't because it's full grown trees. And,
well, that's true. Yeah.
So
we don't want it to blow right there.
That's the bathing.
That is pretty cool.
Friggin' beavers.
These fucking beavers. Honestly.
But they were never. I don't think they were. They were like there was a giant like saber-tooth version of beavers in Game World, but they never made like a sentient race like the badgers.
Oh yeah.
But you figured they would because they already had architecture.
You might as well, yeah.
But,
for you guys talk amongst yourselves, I'm going to use the facilities.
Oh boy!
Oh my god! Here you go. The rain is coming back out the other way.
Nobody needs to know that. But all right.
Well, they do now.
Now they know. Knowing's half the battle.
Yo, Joe.
Yeah, oh, that's right. You good? Yeah.
So, I guess you guys probably covered this before, but how long have you been playing D&D now?
What? I mentioned last time, I got a blue box when I was in junior high from my aunt, and cracked it, but didn't really have a set of gamers to play it with. I didn't start playing till we played AD&D in high school for me, which was probably 80, 81. So I've been playing for like well over 30 years. So
right.
Good long time.
And
AD&D, we segued to second edition, then third, then fourth, and all along the way. So, but a good long time.
Did you do Pathfinder too?
Yeah, but that's I play. I don't really play that with my core group of high school friends. There's still D&D iterations of D&D. So, but yeah, got into Pathfinder. Really, when I moved here, it's not true. I played a little when I lived in Brooklyn. Went to a friend's house up in the Bronx. He was DMing, and I've been playing Pathfinder down here too. So, also a little 13th Age. What else? Just different little games. We played that Monty Cook game, not the Strange. Numenera, played that.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple things. Not a big. Played my board game phase was in college, but I always found it antagonistic. I didn't really like it, so I don't play it to this day. Like my Sunday group has board game days, and I don't even bother.
You don't worry about that. Yeah.
I like playing in a group collectively to an end, as opposed to fighting.
But there are a lot of board games that do that now, like Forbidden Island or Betrayal at the House on the Hill, to a greater or lesser extent.
Nobody told me about them.
Yeah,
all the ones they seem to play like that. So,
right.
I hear you. But yeah.
I like an antagonistic game, like, some abstract like strategy. I have a lot of 2-player stuff because I love playing that stuff with my brother. Because then when you win, it's like, fuck you, I beat you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I find it frustrating. I found the games like we used to play Illuminati. We used to play Diplomacy. But where you have to get somebody to go your way instead of somebody else's way, I think just breeds frustration. It's not like if you were an individual player, win or lose, that's different.
Yeah.
But where it's gang up tactics, people support your move, people, support your initiatives or don't. I just think it breeds bad feeling when they don't, even if it's just a freaking game. And that's just how it clicks in for me. And knowing me, I don't like to get involved. So
gotcha.
I just don't play it that way. So
yeah,
I get frustrated enough. My in-laws play this game, this like elaborate card game. And I just get frustrated losing hands. So I know if they're all playing against me, I'd be furious.
Oh yeah. You flip the table.
Yeah. I saw Banner Santa.
You like?
I didn't see the new one, but we watch that every year.
Brian character and Knights of the Dinner Table just flipping the table.
But what about you, Vince? Do you do any board gaming?
A few times with my nephews. A couple, maybe a year or so ago, but not lately. No, it's been a long time since I've actually board gamed.
Okay.
We're talking about it. There's just so much out there now. And the board games. Well, I played Wrath of a Charlatan with Gabe a little while ago.
That's still in the freaking. I saw it in Barnes & Noble the other day.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's still sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn, it just takes forever. I can't. Yeah, it's like I'd rather play a really good game of Risk. To be honest with you,
which also takes forever.
Well, I was just saying, let me clarify that. If I'm going to spend that much time on a board game, I'd rather either play chess or play Risk. I just now I prefer the with limited time. I would prefer to play the quick pace games, quick pace card games and whatnot. Kittens in a blender or exploding kittens or Cards Against Humanity, things like that have sort of appeal to me now, just because they're short time span. Not to say that if someone said, "Hey, this new board game, you want to try it out?" It's let's play it. 2 years ago, I was playing one of the I think it's Chaosium or not, one of the Call of Cthulhu board games. I'm like,
or something.
I'm like, motherfucker, these rules, the convoluted. You actually need to you have to prep for those games.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. It just totally takes. If I can't sit down in 15 to 20 minutes and learn the rules and teach them, I don't want to be like playing the game and going back to the rules and then discussing the rules and going back to the game. The next thing you know, you got to fucking go to bed and get up for work the next day. I'm not doing that. Sorry. Fuck you, Call of Cthulhu games. No.
That's why RPGs, you learn the rules, you keep playing the same damn game. It's episodic, and but you're not changing the rule set. So
exactly, yeah. So learning, I can't do it. Like, no, not doing it. Maybe that's the sangria talking, and I may change that later. But I'm not. How about you, John? You with the board games like that?
Yeah, a lot more now since starting the podcast. Like I used to do like Parcheesi and those sorts of things, but now with doing reviews for the podcast and everything, I've gotten into it a lot more. Well, I'm getting a lot of feedback here. Oh, now it went away.
We're fun.
Our family game. When we were kids, you remember a game called Masterpiece, like the Parker Brothers game? We used to love playing that.
Oh yeah,
we each get a character and you bid on the paintings. It was just a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it was relatively fast paced. Yeah.
And I always played Manfred von Oberlitzer. Barry. Right?
See, I'm like you to a certain extent.
Huh?
I like the shorter. Like Vince was saying, I like shorter games. Like I'm more of a filler game guy.
Okay.
So. Or something that plays in an hour or less. Like I just picked up Splendor, which is a lot of fun. Which really, it doesn't have a theme as much as it is just a pastiche. I mean, it's it's a set collection game and it has nice art, but the theme is almost non-existent. But it's one of those things where you're just kind of going along and somebody will score 1 point, somebody will have 3 points, and then boom, all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, this guy's going to win in like 2 turns. It just completely takes off like halfway through the game, which I really enjoy.
That's kind of cool. There's a lot of it's all about, I think we were talking about this, and we were just you and I talking, is building tension. Like when I do writing and writing my stories, it's all about the building of the tension, and that's the same thing with Dungeons and Dragons, and even something as simple and as time constrained as a board game is the tension. That's drama. That's life. That's what humans thrive on. Just look at what's on TV. It's drama. Social media is drama. So it stands to reason these small little snippets of time constrained drama, it's appealing. It somehow it speaks to us.
Well, and it's just,
for good or for real.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say for good or for ill, it's it's there.
Yeah. Well, and because of what we do, the gaming is just an extension, and it's such an inherently social activity. It's really cool because, and I've said this before on the podcast. I mean, we had the opportunity to meet and become friends with so many cool people, and try out all these different games, and do all these different things. So it just, for people who are more introverted, which it seems like everybody that we talk to for the most part, ourselves included, gaming allows people to kind of break out of that shell, because you can sit and play and not talk, as sometimes that happens, or you depending on what you're playing, you may be concentrating or whatever. If you're playing something like Pairs from Cheap Ass Games, it's just more of a a party style game. There's a lot of like back and forth, and people are like, and we've had people, it's a lot of fun, and doing stuff with the board game meetup is just really cool, because it does bring you into the sphere of a lot of other people, and then you get introduced to other games, and then they bring other people, and it's just a really cool thing to be a part of.
Oh yeah. If you're setting aside a time, especially something like a meetup, and gathering a group of people together, random people together for a couple hours, and you're doing board games, that's great. I think you're correct. That's very cool. There's a lot of enrichment there. That's for sure.
And it just does nothing for me.
I get nothing.
I like to play in a game. It's episodic, and I don't have that much time. So the time I put into it, I want to advance. I like gaining levels. I like getting treasure, earning points, improving my stats. I like to take a guy someplace, take him on a journey of development as well as a journey of
I'm interested.
Experiences.
I'm interested in seeing how you and Aaron's character work out, because there was a little bit of sweet tension with the gold misering.
Just like
I love it.
I mean, John, you remember your character was marked for death in our last game.
I remember. You're like,
Aaron might learn my.
You're like, oh, that's it. You're dead.
I was waiting for him to get wounded. I was going to clip you. So, but just on the heel, I'm thinking when Aaron needs it, I might just pull the plug. So,
that's a character.
I was not happy with him. You don't rob the dwarf. No.
Nobody robs the dwarf.
Nobody robs the dwarf.
So, are you comfortable talking about that story, James?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Okay, because it seemed like afterwards everything kind of sort of fell apart from there. And I think I've told the story. I think I've told the story on there before.
That's possible.
But so
I like that campaign. I love playing that guy. He was a fun character.
Yeah.
But just if for nothing else, then because we had a Tengu in the party that
Yeah.
That was Gabe. He's too much.
God, did we?
Yeah, but I don't. Did you have a sense that I was going to clip it next chance I got?
I think probably.
So all right. So let's.
The funny thing is, I don't remember what he did wrong. I remember I wanted to kill him, but I don't remember what he did. I don't remember anymore.
What a typical relationship.
Yeah, I don't remember how you gave offense, but you did something.
You did something, you fuck.
All right. So let's set the scene. So I'm playing an assassin character. And
there you go. Go ahead, John.
And Vince,
get the fucking percolator.
like in an offhanded comment, because there was like an animated snowman that you guys had, and Gabe had his monkey, and all these different things were going on. And I'm like, it would be cool if I could have a raven, because the guy was an assassin. He worshipped the Raven Queen, and he was like, all right, we could do that. I'm like, it doesn't have to do anything. I don't care. Like, I just want to have it. So it's just there as like, background stuff. So as we're playing the game, and I'm playing via Hangout because I'm here in Arizona. He starts texting me on the phone, and the Raven starts to talk to me, and it's telling me like all this crazy shit, like kill this guy, do this, blah blah. So my guy starts freaking out, like, oh my god, the Raven Queen is speaking to me. So I think in this particular, and this had gone on for I think a session or two. I think in this particular session, the Raven comes down, it starts talking to me. And in combat, my guy is prone in the graveyard because the Raven is speaking to him. You guys are fighting. It took me like 4 rounds to get into combat.
Yeah,
remember that?
So we get down. We get down into this tunnel system or into the crypt or something, whatever it was. And
it was underneath the church.
Yeah. So Gabe's character goes through this portal and says there's this undead army on the other side of the portal. So he comes back and
fucking wandered off again.
Yeah, again. So he comes back and says something, and I'm like, "Hey, this is an affront to the Raven Queen. This can't stand. We've got to take care of this." And James rather flippantly was like, "Fuck the Raven Queen. Like, we're going back to town or whatever." So without actual physical, like without drawing blood or anything, my guy gets up behind him and puts a dagger to his throat and was like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
And it just kind of spiraled out of control from there.
Because I just got,
but
quiet and I didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah, overt, you were pissed.
But I was just like, click, he's dead. In my head, I'm like, oh, he's dead. I'm going to get him.
Dead. You're dead.
Next time he's down, I'm going to burn him.
I remember. You're just like, you're dead. That's it. You're dead.
And I think you had said something to the effect, I think, either in character or maybe later or whatever. But he didn't stab you. He didn't, like, there was no, it was just more. And I think his behavior had been telegraphed over the course of the session that something was not necessarily right at the time. And it was to the point where, like, I think you were mad in real life because I'd sent emails like, hey, this is what's going on with the character, blah, blah, blah. No hard feelings. I don't want you to be upset or anything. And then I don't think we played like ever again after that session.
I was like, oh, he's dead. You still dead?
You're dead. You're dead.
I'm not going to say boo-boo. And when it happens, it happens. It's going to be a nice organic death.
Nice organic death.
But it was your fault. You were the one who put the Raven in his ear. What? You were going to get him killed.
I figured. Oh, it's my fault. I figured, you know what? We've got a fun, non-talking, sentient animated snowman, which Disney ripped me off, and they did. There's fucking cocks. I had Rodney for years before. Fuck them. Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, that was actually a very good. That was a really good. The Frost Tower. Yeah,
yes,
that was fun. But yeah, John's like, oh yeah, and I figured, you know what? It fits with his character and his assassin and the Raven. I'm yeah, sure. Like sort of the Raven was almost like a ascension sword that would push you to fight, to push you over. Based around the Raven Queen and her persona, would push that character in that direction, and that's what I wanted. I figured that would be kind of cool, and that fit for his assassin character. We didn't think it would piss the dwarf off in such fashion.
No, that was a dwarf. He was the Zaladin.
Oh, yeah, Zaladin.
He was the Genasi.
The Genasi, yeah. Well, it pissed the fire Genasi off. He was pissed. God damn it. Zim Zaladin.
That was a good game.
That was a good party. That was a good party.
Dan was really versatile. He pulled out all the stops as a druid. He did really well.
Dan did very well as a druid. Yeah. Dan, not for anything. Dan, Dan, and John, and even Aaron now, and Gabe is coming into the fold. You guys are doing really good role play together. Very, very happy with you guys.
It's not all about the role play. It's about the role play.
It is. It really is. The camaraderie.
Dan is really on
camaraderie.
point.
Scores our inspiration points.
Exactly. What did you say, John?
I said Dan is really on point. I've really been enjoying the way Dan's been playing.
Dan. It's funny because at work we talked about that.
I think giving him the hook was the right move.
Yeah.
It really helped him. So
yeah. It pushed him into it forced him to take that character, and because it's a little gnome kind of guy with like an interesting shtick, it forced him to role play. You had to. You could not do that. So, but you're right. He's on point with that. It's very good. And the whole municipal sewer worker that's got to fill out forms and shit, and then take it back and report is just that's I got a kick out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but each person's going to have their own little story point, which each game will bring up. Will have their own thrust.
And Aaron hasn't given me offense yet. It's just that from now on, we're gonna have to search the body. You're gonna have to break up the body searches because we know he won't come across.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm gonna be like, well, I searched this one and this one. I'm gonna point them out.
Just say that
and then mechanically, when that becomes cumbersome, if he comes back around, it'll all be forgotten.
Gotcha.
But if he's gonna keep, he's a rogue. He's a rogue. Yeah, but
he's playing himself in real life. He's kind of,
and it's okay. But I'll play myself in real life.
Very roguish. But no, it was a good character. It's very
I'm gonna do the first stage reaction is to change the methodology.
Gotcha.
Second stage reaction will become punitive. So
okay,
that's just me. So John, I'm gonna give him one more chance than I was gonna give you. Sorry, buddy.
And the punitive is you're dead. You're dead. That's it.
No, I mean, when he's down,
punitive damages.
When he's down, I'll clip him when he's down if it comes to it. So
how do you like that?
Sorry
there, buddy. That was
the surgeon is not the person you want to piss off around the table.
That's true.
Piss off the surgeon.
You want to fuck with the doctor. That's
doctor is real.
Right. But that was a very pleasant. And for those of you, I mean, we keep harping on this. We're saying not because we're there and we're playing it, we have some kind of arrogance, but it was a really good game. We enjoyed it. Everyone had fun. And I think you'll enjoy watching it, putting it on the background while you do your laundry, you do dishes, you're cleaning, just throw it in the background and listen. That's what I often do with podcasts. If you don't want to catch the YouTube and have one eye on it, you can go ahead and listen to our MP3. And John, where can you find us?
You can find all of our awesome content at legendsoftabletop.com.
Excellent. And I'm gonna do a little bit of a plea here. Please go out. If you do enjoy listening to us, just let us know in a one-word response and some feedback. Go to iTunes, go to Sound. We prefer iTunes because their search algorithm is based on both downloads and feedback. So if you could go to iTunes and say, hey, this was kind of cool. I recommend, and give it, do your rating. That would be great. We're not asking for money. We're just asking you to go ahead and give us a listen, and go ahead and give us a rating, give us a review, give us some feedback. If we're doing something you don't like, let us know. That's the only way we grow. It's like building a muscle. If we don't give it some tension and some challenge, we're not going to grow. So you bastards listening later, I know there's a couple people watching now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Go ahead and rate us and give us a review. If it's a bad one, okay, we'll take it and we'll learn from that. But yeah. So how was that, John? Was that good?
That's good. Bad reviews are fine, but leave constructive criticism. Just saying, hey, this sucks is not helpful.
You say, oh, this sucks. That, first of all, that's juvenile. And that's not going to help us. You have to say, this sucks because this sucks. This is why this sucks. Or, hey, this is why this is good. And then we can use that as a springboard for further podcasts and learning. That's the only way we learn. That's the only way you learn.
And we don't want to seem like we picked on Gabe just because he wasn't here.
No, Gabe's a good guy. We love Gabe.
Gabe's a super guy.
Gabe's a good role player, a good character, and we look forward to having him back on the both the Roundtable podcasts.
Which will be his first.
Yeah, he hasn't even been on yet.
Correct.
God damn it!
You can't say back.
Yeah, back. We look forward to having him on Busting the Cherry on the first, coming in on the third one, which we'll have probably sometime either in late January or early February. Maybe we'll do one for my birthday. My birthday's in February.
Maybe explain, why he keeps the same mini. I've got a guy on my Sunday game who plays the same mini, the same unpainted swordsman for every race, gender, and class.
Nice.
And we're like, we can get you dwarf, dude.
Yeah,
and
he's attached to it, right?
He's attached to it.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's that's just me. I don't know. I kind of like to represent.
Yeah.
So that's just.
I agree.
But if you're attached to a mini, paint it.
Exactly.
Fucking paint it. Like I would paint it.
Seriously, Aaron was going to use a bugle, one of your bugles, to his character last game. Fuck it. He's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Remind me to bring the bugles.
Bring your bugles, yes. I'll make sure we have the bowls for you to munch out of.
I'm crinkling.
It was loud. It was,
really?
yeah. Me too. When I was crinkling, it wasn't your fault. I mean, you didn't know.
Damn right, it wasn't my fault.
It's your fault. You fuck. This microphone picks up sound pretty good. But I'm going to try to get some more. And if you're listening, Dwarven Forge, tweet out our own stuff for that anytime we have some Dwarven Forge 3D dungeon tiles, which we will hopefully the next game. We'll have some more of those. Those are always fun. The lighted ones are amazing. The little LEDs.
That was cute.
Fantastic. I wouldn't use the word cute.
The brazier.
The brazier, which I think Gabe knocked over his character.
Well, he turned it off. I know that because he gust of winded it.
Yeah, but before you blasted the door open to the other brazier, you knocked over into the pool. God damn it. Fuck.
And he gave him the folding gate.
He didn't even fold it. The IKEA.
He's going to do damage with that one.
He's totally going to do damage. That's going to be fun, but he's not high level enough to
and
really
he's still taking samples. So
he's taking urine samples and all kinds of slime samples and stool samples. Yeah. It'll be interesting, especially with
the man from the sea.
That's right, the aquatic mage has nothing to do with anything, even aquatic, even when he's on the sea.
4th level, I'm gonna brain him.
You're dead. That's just you're dead.
You better pick up. I want magic missile. I don't want scorching ray. I don't want to hear nonsense. Pick them up. And at 5th level, you're gonna take fireball and lightning bolt. I don't want to hear your nonsense.
Not for anything. Yeah, I know, right? Spritel, the thief. He's got more. He's got
better cantrips. He's got firebolt.
Yeah. He's casting more magic than the mage.
I'm gonna have better when I hit 4th level, I'm taking magical aptitude. I'm getting picking up cantrips because somebody's got to.
You got to pick up this. Like, God damn it, Gabe. Dude, seriously, be a mage. Be a mage.
Be a mage. You could be a mage.
That's right. You can do it.
We shall see.
We'll see. The next game, like I said, the next game will be on the 28th, John, the Saturday.
Yep.
All right,
I already
Saturday,
put it on the
28th at 8 p.m. Excellent.
Yeah, I might respond to the email at some point. Awesome.
What the fuck? Yeah. Is James alive?
James lives.
When you texted me back, I'm like, oh, it's a miracle.
Wife's like, Vince just texted you. I'm gonna make you a contact.
Why is your wife looking at your text?
She's the one who responded.
What?
She made the first response. Okay.
Like, I'm like that. Can James come out and play on the 28th?
You should just have his wife's.
Because we were on group text for the holidays about who's bringing what to what. So she was looking at that. You popped in the middle in medias res, and she just fixed it up so that you would be there. And she made the first response.
Gotcha.
So, should I answer this guy? I'm like, yeah, say yes. Okay.
Well, she knows who I am. We met.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We saw one of the Hobbits.
That's right. The last one.
Yeah. That's the last one. The fights.
Yeah.
What didn't you like about it?
The worms.
Oh, that was too Dune-ish.
Where the hell will those rams come from?
No, yeah.
That
was ridiculous.
What else? I didn't like the whole series. The series made mistakes. They presumed that it was the Arkansas was the problem. They never mentioned the Dwarven Ring.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, in the book, the Arkansas was the focus, but they didn't.
It was the focus, but it wasn't what drove them crazy.
Yeah.
It wasn't what drove Thorpe crazy or Thrain crazy.
No,
it was
not
the
at all.
Ring that drove them crazy.
Yeah.
So, I think it cheapened it. Having them attack Moria without the war didn't make any sense either. The point was that Thror got killed by Azog originally.
Yeah.
And they did the War of the Dwarves and Orcs was a war of vengeance. None of that happened. It's just like, yeah, let's go. They attacked Moria, but we didn't go in. We beat them, but we didn't go in. It didn't make sense.
Well, some of that was drawn out of the Silmarillion, so not
But
for anything. Not many people have read that and even fucking know what that is. So it's
actually, that part, no, that was the appendix of Return of the King.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. The appendix in the Silmarillion. Yeah.
It was all about Nagrad and Belagast.
Yeah, a lot of very prose added like mythology, likely. That's
what a great book.
Oh yeah, that's what Tolkien wanted. He's like, we don't have our own mythology because the whole King Arthur myth was predominantly French, and England,
the Morte d'Arthur.
Yeah, England was lacking in a deep, steeped mythology.
So there were flaws in both movie series. But
what was your favorite? What are the trilogies? The Hobbit run or the Fellowship or the Return of the King?
I think there were fewer flaws in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Correct.
Some aspects of Hobbit I just couldn't get behind. I just couldn't do it. Not that there weren't mistakes in Return of the King. I could see why they cut the Hobbit part. Hobbit's tough. That's a tough kettle of fish.
That would be a rough sell because it's kind of like it's everything's done and over with, and you're building it back up again at the end. It's like the denouement already happened. We're done. Destroy the ring. That's it. Stop.
And the depiction of Dol Guldur in The Hobbit, I didn't like it.
No, that actually annoyed me.
The Nazgul were never entombed together.
No.
Gandalf was never captured in a bird cage. It just none of that shit happened.
Yeah.
Thrain was there. That's where he got the key.
Yep.
And that's where he took back the last ring. All that stuff was important, and they just didn't mention it.
They went right over that and rehistorized that.
I think the funnest part, the thing that I liked the best, which was an alteration, was that Thranduil had fought dragons and he was hiding his facial disfigurement.
Oh yeah.
That gave him, that explained his character where poor Denethor never got a break.
Yeah.
Thranduil got a break, which didn't exist, and Denethor never got a break where there was a perfect opening because he had a Palantir and nobody knew it in the damn movie series.
Yeah, they all.
He was just a freaking knight. He was just a madman.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, no pun intended.
Yeah. No, you read the books. Yeah.
He said the eyes of the White Tower are not blind. He had a Palantir, so they kept the line and they didn't keep the mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't add that, which is very strange to me.
Because it would have been so simple. Even if he could have done it in seconds. He could have jumped off the pyre and dropped the Palantir out of his sleeve, like Spider-Man did, and ran off the thing. Fine, everything else would have been fine. And he would be like, "Oh, that's why he's a friggin' madman, because he had a Palantir. Makes perfect sense."
Yeah, because
he's just crazy.
Yeah. Anyone who had not read the books or knew the history was like, we left like, what the fuck? He's just mad. That's the plot contrivance.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Until next time. Until they do Turin Bar. We'll see.
Exactly. All right. I think we're coming up on the hour and 45-minute mark. So James is fighting a cold. I've got to get up early. So does he? Well, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
James is going
to take a convalescent sleep.
James is. He's going to drink his healing potion.
He wants to catch Rogue One maybe tomorrow.
You should go see Rogue One.
He wants to see it before everybody gets out of work.
Yes. Yeah. Do a matinee.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow at 8, get the nice plush seats.
There you go. Don't fall asleep. Yeah. Well, if you take a nap and you get up and go, you'll be fine.
Yeah. That'll keep you awake.
It will.
There's no lull.
Yeah,
so
it's non-stop action.
So. Did you guys see Arrival? I can recommend Arrival.
I heard that was good.
Amazing movie.
Is it good?
See Arrival.
Okay.
Amazing movie. I highly recommend.
There's pods landing and
it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's just a cool. Yeah. I don't want to tell you too much. It's a great movie. Go see it.
Go see
the theater.
All right. I'll maybe on Saturday.
Get the out.
Get the out with the. All right, John, you want to give the details and when our next game is again?
Sure. You can catch this awesome content and all of our other cool stuff at legendsoftabletop.com. If you want to send us any good or bad feedback, constructive criticism, you can hit us at legendsoftabletop@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, Twitter. We're on Twitter at Legends Tabletop. Check out the Facebook page. Give us a like over there. All the podcasts are hosted over on SoundClouds. We're on iTunes. So check us out all those places. We appreciate everybody coming along for the ride. If you guys aren't enjoying it, if no one's listening, this is a little bit of mental masturbation for us. So we appreciate the people that interact and tweet and respond and do all those things. We're
gonna do this regardless of whether you guys like it or not. So.
Maybe it should be a Q&A.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things we want to have later on, without giving too much away, is having guests and questions and things of that nature. Yeah, so we can interact with people. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It could be a good time.
Very good.
And do you have any parting words?
Take your vitamin C, people, because I got sick and I don't know how. So
there you go.
VC. Not Vietnam.
And don't piss off the dwarf.
Hey, don't piss off the dwarf. And look,
don't steal from the dwarf.
Don't steal from the dwarf. And we're going to find out the tension between the thief and the dwarf on the next game. Saturday the 28th, starting at 8 p.m. Central. It'll be streamed live via Google Hangout, just like this, and you'll be able to hear it later on the MP3s, on the SoundCloud, and all the other fun shit. Be ready. We'll try to have some email alerts and Google Blasts, and check us out on the webpage on our calendar on the top left-hand side. You can always go there to see our events and whatnot, and go ahead and go do that.
And here's wishing everybody a healthy and happy New Year.
Yes, everyone have a good. Thank you. Have a healthy and happy New Year to your families.
Happy sixth night of Hanukkah.
Yeah, and Hanukkah and all the holidays that you celebrate this time of year. Enjoy that with your families, and always remember to come back and listen to Legends of Tabletop. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for checking it out.